Despite their small size, ants possess unique characteristics that distinguish them from other insects, particularly their exceptional communication skills that allow them to work as a collective superorganism. In fact, with 2.5 million ants per human on Earth, they are one of the most abundant and successful groups of animals. Currently, there are over 12,000 identified species of ants belonging to the Formicidae family, but some scientists believe there could be up to 20,000 species. It's hard to escape the ubiquity of ants, as they are present in every continent except Antarctica, Iceland, Greenland, and other isolated islands. Ants can be as small as 1/1,000,000th of an inch long and typically have a black, brown, red, or yellow appearance. Termites and ants frequently get mixed up because of how similar they seem. The antennae of ants are elbowed, and they have a small waist between their thorax and abdomen. Some ants have wings that taper out towards their hind legs and are longer in front. Ants with wings are either queens or drones whose task it is to mate with them. The presence of wings signifies an ant's fertility. Diet and behavior. Ants are fervently sociable insects that often live in organized nest groups that can be found underground, on the ground, or in trees. Carpenter ants can cause damage to structures because they nest in wood, and there are more than 1,000 species of them in the genus Camponotus, similar to termites, which do far more extensive damage. Some species go against the grain and don't have permanent habitats, like army ants. There may be hundreds of thousands of individual ants living in a single ant colony. A queen or queens rule over a community. In some polygynous species, there may be as few as 2 or as many as thousands of queens. To secure the survival of the colony, queens lay a lot of eggs. Male ants, often known as drones, have a single function in some species, which is mating with the queen. Often, they pass away soon after. The most noticeable colony members, called worker ants, are females who never reproduce but instead seek food, look after the queen's young, care for the nest, and defend the neighborhood. Some worker ants are capable of lifting 50 times their own weight. Ants communicate and cooperate by secreting pheromones, or scent chemicals, that can alert others to danger or lead them to a promising food source. Nectar, seeds, fungi, or insects are their normal diets. A few species, meanwhile, have more peculiar diets. Army ants can feed on reptiles, birds, or even small mammals, thanks to their enormous mandibles and painful stings. Since ant colonies are so cohesive and effective, they can transmit useful information from one generation to the next, which some scientists believe to be the colony's memory. Ants need to be able to distinguish between friendly and hostile forces. Therefore, this type of shared knowledge is crucial for defense. The average ant life cycle. Ants originate as eggs, like the majority of insects. Only the queen of a colony lays eggs, and fertilized eggs develop into female worker ants. Male ants develop from all unfertilized eggs, and these ants are exclusively used to mating with the queen. Depending on the kind of ant, eggs will molt after a few weeks. For ant eggs, there isn't much else happening since they are essentially dormant until the next stage of their life. Young ants hatch from their eggs as tiny worms or larvae when the moment arrives. In order to survive, the ant must be fed continuously by other active ants, making this one of the most crucial periods of its life. After each pupation, larval ants grow larger and larger. Larval ants go through a variety of pupating stages. It also selects which female ants will mature into queens as they start to resemble the ants we are familiar with today. The amount of food the ant has received is typically a deciding factor for other queen ants. Female ants that are strong and huge will grow wings. This allows them to fly off when they are adults and start their own colony. An ant will reach full maturity and maintain the same size for the remainder of its life once it has fully emerged from its pupation stage or cocoon. The entire procedure can take up to 2 months, which indicates that the majority of male ants are growing up longer than they are permitted to be adults. Long before an ant reaches adulthood, it is decided what direction its life will take. While this may seem cruel, this is the beauty of Mother Nature. Ants' lifespan. The length of an ant's life depends on their gender and place in the colony. For instance, male ants who have the shortest lifespan only live long enough to procreate with female ants before passing away after a few weeks. While female working ants are only alive for a few months at a time, they spend that time working in the colony and providing for their queen. And finally, the queen of an ant colony can survive for a very long time, some even up to 30 years. So clearly, the queen is the one who lives a much longer life. With that, we wind up today's video. Let us know what you think about the fascinating world of ants in the comments section below.